Today I am sharing easy Valentine's Day DIY decor ideas that look romantic but won't break the budget. Hi, I'm Loli. Let's create something beautiful and find a little joy along the way. This project was inspired by this piece that I found at Pottery Barn's website. It is super cute, but I'm going to give it my own spin. I will be using this candy dispenser that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'll be sanding it down using some of this sandpaper that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to do both the top and the bottom. Once they were nicely sanded, we're going to put them back together. And I'm going to use my heat tool to remove the dispenser areas right here. I'm going to use my cotton attachment and then just melt away both of those pieces. If you're interested in getting one of these, I will be linking it in my description box below. And I also removed this top section here, just kind of shaving it off and making sure that I don't create a bigger hole as I'm doing that. So I'm pretty much just melting it into the center to cover that hole. And then I took some of this clay from Dollar Tree and I'm going to stuff it into that opening to seal it up completely. And I'm also adding some to that indentation and to that top hole there as well. I decided at this point that I wanted to add it all the way around so everything is cohesive, and I'm using some water on my fingers here as I'm using my gloves just to smooth my clay down as I go along. I went all the way around, also right here on the edges so we can have a nice finish bevel edged. And I just smooth it down with some water. But the next day, it all cracked, guys. I am not very good using clay. If you can, please let me know in the comment section below how I can avoid this. I will truly appreciate it. I ended up removing the pieces as you see there and covering them up with some spackling. And I just let that sit and dry. The spackling looks a little dirty there. Just used some water where I had my paintbrushes in, so that's why it looks so dirty. Then I sanded everything down so I have a semi-smooth surface because I'm going for that cement look. Now I'm going to take some of my rose-tone linen white chalk paint and I'm going to paint it with it. But I didn't like the texture, so I decided to take some baking soda and some paint and mix it together just so I get more of that cement look that I was going for. And I gave my heart a full coat with that mixture. Not just the top section, but I also added it to the base as well. And I just let it sit overnight to dry. Then I took some antique wax. I didn't do the bottom as you see there, but I'll do it later. I took some antique wax and I'm going to just dry brush just the smallest amount onto the sections here just to bring out some depth. It's just going to pretty much just hit those brush strokes and make this look a little bit more like the Pottery Barn piece that I showed you earlier. But as I said, we're going to do my own little spin. I wanted to add a little color to this. So I decided to use this greenery that I got from Dollar Tree in spring last year. And I'm going to use these little purple flowers that I came with. We're going to cut each one individually off of this pick. And I'm going to attach it right here to the base. I'm just using a small amount of hot glue to do that. Just position it right here. And then I did the same thing with the other side. We're going to use that same hot glue to add the second piece, but making sure that it's exactly on the direction that I wanted. So I'm going to just spin it and hold it until it is placed correctly. Then I added a small amount of hot glue in the middle as well. And we're going to add this extra piece right here, right at the center. Again, making sure that everything is in the place that I wanted. Here was a little bit too long, so I'm just trimming it a little bit more. Adding some hot glue right there to the center of the other two. And I'm going to make sure to spread out the pieces exactly how I want them and hold them in place while that hot glue dries. Then I'm going to take some ribbon and we're going to go ahead and measure exactly a size of a bow that I want to add to this and cut that amount. If you would like to know how to make this ribbon dispenser that I have here on the screen, I will link it in the description box below. Also here, I'm just going to go ahead and crisscross my bow as you see there. Take a piece of leftover, I think I got this from some burlap, and tie it in the middle. And I did a triple knot, but just make sure that your knot is nicely centered and that your bow looks beautiful before you go ahead and tie it. Then I cut the excess there. I also slanted my edges, burned off the edges of my tails. And we're going to add a little bit of hot glue to the back, actually the front of the bow, because I wanted that other section to be the back. And that is it. Let me know what you think. Friends, this video is part of the Lover's Lane collaboration that is hosted by Carolyn's daughter, Apple Night DIY, and Shabby Mix Bling. The links to their channels and to their playlists will be linked in the description box below, so make sure to head on over and show everyone some love. I found this tray in the Pottery Barn website and I loved it, and we are going to recreate it. We will be using this heart from Dollar Tree. It comes in 2 different colors. We're going to remove the sticker from the back and paint it with 2 coats of this crimson from Waverly. Once it dried, I took some of this rub and buff in gold leaf, and we're going to apply it to all of the edges right here, all the way around. Friends, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit that like button. I truly appreciate it. And subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you so much. And once it's dried, we're going to seal it with 2 coats of Mod Podge Multi. And that is it for this one. Please let me know in the comment section what you think about this project. For this video, we'll be using all of these supplies from Dollar Tree. We are going to take this wooden heart with that background. We're going to remove that tag from the back, not the tag, the hanger, I mean. And I'm not going to just cut it because we're going to use it later on. Then we're going to remove the 2 little screws that come in the back using this also screwdriver set from Dollar Tree. We're going to put that to the side and take one of these doily pieces and attach it right here to the back, or to the front, I should say, of the metal piece. I'm going to take my small screwdrivers and bow holes onto the doily so I know exactly where to place it. Now we're going to place those 2 little screwdrivers in the back, through that metal piece, and through the doily in both sides. Then we're going to line up those 2 screws with the back of the heart and screw everything back together. Friends, if you don't mind, let me know in the comment section where you're watching from. I love to know how far my views are reaching. Thank you so much. I'll be using these ornaments from Dollar Tree, but I also was thinking of using these. These came from Hobby Lobby, and I'm thinking of using this white over this. It fits perfectly. I was thinking maybe the red one would look great, but I ultimately ended up using none of them. But I'm showing you here some options of what you can do. You can overlay them in like this, and you can see, how beautiful each one of these options are. I went with just staining this with my Waverly Antique Wax, and then removing the extra wax using a wet wipe. And I'm so happy with this finish. Look at it. Now we're going to go ahead and attach this heart ornament from Dollar Tree to that piece. And I'm going to use some of this Loctite wood glue to do that. And I'm just adding very little amounts all over in the biggest sections. And then I'm going to attach it right there to the middle of my heart. And this dries in about 10 minutes. Which is quick, but it gives me time to move the heart around to make sure that it's nicely centered. Now let's attach this whole heart to the middle of our canvas. And I'm using just a generous amount of hot glue to do that. And I made sure to press it down so it will be nicely attached. Then I took that same hanger that I took off earlier from the heart, and we're going to add it to this. I was wondering if I should use this tan color beads or the pink ones. Ultimately, I decided on the pink ones. So I took 15 of them, and I'm going to thread it into the hanger you see above there. And that was quite easy to do since a plastic piece made it quite easy for them to just slide right in. Next, I flipped my piece over. I was thinking of using this staple gun that I got from Dollar Tree for $5, but I ended up seeing the back of this, and I'm like, oh, these staples are pretty spaced out nicely on here. So I ended up lifting it a little bit, these 2 staples right here on each side, and then sliding that plastic piece under it. So my jute cord will be on there, did that with both sides. And then just took my handy tiny hammer and just stacked those staples right back down. And then we have our hanger attached nicely and securely. You can keep your piece as long as you see it there, or here you have the ability to adjust it as you like. As I did here, just made it a lot tighter. And that is it for this one. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about this project. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's episode, here are a couple more videos you are sure to enjoy. Thank you so much for stopping by. You're amazing. Bye.